Take them from about S2 to T12. And then they can do the stretch. And as they're doing the stretch, if they feel the tape pulling on their back, it's a reminder not to let the back round. This is one of the most important stretches I know of. I developed this technique myself just by the study of anatomy. But many, many people that have told me they can never get their hips to loosen up or get their back to relax have found this stretch to be very, very effective for them. So a 90 degree at the knee, a 90 degree at the groin, a 90 degree at the back knee. This hand, the trailing hand, needs to be turned into supination. That holds the chest up. If the hand goes into pronation, the back will round. So you do need the trailing hand to be supinated. That picks the chest up. The head and eyes should always be slightly above the horizon. There's 3 positions to the stretch. Sternum in line with femur, sternum at mid-shin, sternum in line with ankle, and each one stretches different fibers, and each one's tougher to do. Most people can barely do the first one, so don't even bother with the later positions, because if it causes them pain, they're just going to, have a bad result. You can tell you're stretching too hard because usually it'll cause your little foot, your little toe to start getting tingly, which means you're strangling the sciatic nerve. In about, different studies say different things, but somewhere between 20 and 30% of people, the sciatic nerve grows right through the piriformis muscle. So when you do that, start winding the piriformis muscle, it can strangle the muscle and give you numbness and tingling in the foot like you got a disc injury. Okay? So from here, you can put your hand on your shin and use that to keep your chest up, so you're kind of pulling yourself into it. You keep that back arched. I tell my patients, pretend you've got headlights on your butt cheeks and you're shining them up at the ceiling. Bend from the hip, not the back. Keeping the head and eyes above the horizon. Using this left arm as support. Go till you feel a stretch in the butt. Inhale. Push your knee into the ground as though you're squashing the mat, followed by your ankle. Pressing the ankle into the mat activates the hip rotators. Pressing the knee into the mat activates the gluteus maximus muscle. After 5 seconds, move into the new position. Inhale. Knee into mat, ankle into mat. Hold that position for 5 seconds. Exhale, sink in, never let the back round. Once you can't go any further because you're up-butted against your leg, you're ready for the second position. Turn your sternum so it's in line with mid-shin. You can help yourself by holding onto your foot, chest up, eyes up, bend from the hip. Go till you get a comfortable therapeutic stretch. Inhale. Knee into floor, ankle into floor, holding pressure on both. Exhale. Sink in, do not round the back. Stretch it for 5. If it causes numbness or tingling, back out of it a little bit. If it's too aggressive, the body will not stretch it. It'll go into a defense posture. And if somebody has a true sciatica, this will irritate it. So if someone actually has what's called piriformis syndrome, this will bother it. That's one way you can diagnose it. Okay? So you would do that. The third position, which I'm too tight to really do, sternum in line with foot, same technique. Inhale, knee, ankle, 5 seconds, relax, sink in. It's hard to keep the lordosis in this third position, so you've got to be real careful. It's better not to teach a position to someone who shouldn't be doing it. Because inevitably, especially your aggressive athletic types, try to do stuff, and the harder it is, the more they like it, and the next thing you know, they're hurt. Now, the technique on these things makes a world of difference. Yeah, the slightest change will alter the stretch.
Sorry, Paul. So with people who can't actually get that far over, like the towards...
What you do is you take them to a weight bench, or if you have a physiotherapy table, you lower it, and they sit on the bench like this, and they just let this leg hang, and you often need a foam roller or a towel under the knee, so you essentially set them up like that, and they just work from here. But you'll find that, by the way, is an indicator of a capsular contraction in the hip. So once people have hip capsule problems, they can't get into that position. So a lot of people, in their 50s and above have a real hard time with that 90-90 stretch because they're too locked down in the hip joints without realizing what's happening.